I'm finally giving you guys this interview, and I wanted to do this interview at our 6-month mark just to talk to you guys all about the challenges and the success and everything in between in the last 6 months, and just to kind of talk to you guys about what to expect to come in the future with Oreya as well.
So why don't you start by introducing yourself to everybody?
So my name is Alexa, everybody knows me as Lex, and I am the owner of Oreya Studio.
Oreya, that's an interesting name. How did you come up with that?
So there's a long backstory behind how I came up with the name, but to kind of make the story shorter, I was struggling for months to think of a name, and I felt like I wanted something that I could carry out into a brand and branch out, and I was being very, very picky with the name. And one day my mom texted me and she said, why don't you name it Oreya? And Oreya in Greek means beautiful. And my dad is half Greek and I have family in Greece, so I've been to Greece about 4 times. And some of my best childhood memories and my best vacations was with my family in Greece. The spelling of Oreya is O-R-A-I-A, but we decided to change the spelling of it. And I knew, and I said to a lot of people, that once I find the name and I feel the name, I'll know right away. And the second she said it to me, I literally said, done. Like, it's that.
Before the name came, how did you know that you wanted to own a salon?
So I have been obsessed with hair since a little girl. I actually started dyeing my hair in grade 7. I got my first highlights in grade 7, and right after the first time I ever did my hair color, it was my aunt who did it. I was so obsessed with how hair color can change your look. So going from blonde to brown to black to highlights or full blonde, it's a completely different look, and I became extremely obsessed with changing my look as many times as I could and experimenting. And through that, I just loved being at a salon all the time. I don't know how to describe it. I just knew that like that was kind of like my happy place on a Saturday or a Friday night, was going to a salon. Voluntarily, I would always go with my friends to hair salons and take them to hair salons. So if I had no business being there because I wasn't getting my hair done, I would still go with them to spend the day with them with a hair makeover. And my cousins and my really close girlfriends would take me as a person to be an in-between when they couldn't articulate what they wanted. So I enjoyed that, and that was something that I would want to do in my spare time. So I knew that I was sitting on something there, just always wanting to be at a hair salon. So throughout the years, learning so much behind hair, I actually wanted to be a hairstylist. And what had happened was I ended up going to school for broadcast journalism, and when I got out of school, I felt like I needed some more time. Hair school is expensive, and after going to school already, I couldn't jump into that right away. So, you know, long story short, it wasn't in my path to become a hairstylist, but I always knew that I wanted to kind of be in that industry somehow. I ended up working as a senior store manager for a big company, and it was in fashion. And I learned a lot of my skills in that industry with customer service, with how to run a team, how to hire people, HR, all of that kind of comes with owning a business as well. I learned those skills being a store manager. And it was one of those things where I just kind of knew that one day I was going to own my own business. And a lot of people, even myself, to be honest with you, thought it was going to end up in fashion somehow. At the back of my head, when anybody would ask me what it is that I really wanted to do, it was either be a hairstylist or own my own hair salon.
So it seems like you've known for a very long time that you've wanted to do something in regards to hair. So how is it you knew when you wanted to take that leap in opening your own salon?
So a couple things there. One, I'm gonna start off by saying and shouting out my girls from Naked Beauty Bar, Gabs and Julia. They honestly inspired me to take the leap, or at least look into it, because they opened up their very successful nail salon because they found a gap in the industry for nails, and they don't do nails. But they knew that they wanted to be in the beauty industry. And that's exactly what I was feeling, but on the opposite end, which was hair. And it was, you know, it kind of clicked to me that, listen, like, yes, I don't do hair. I know a lot about hair. I know how to run, you know, a multi-million-dollar store. I know how to act as a business leader. I know how to hire staff. I know how to manage staff. And I realized that I don't necessarily have to be the one to do hair, just like they didn't have to, and they were so successful because they're running the business. And I do feel like sometimes, and shout out to all of the salon owners that do hair plus own the salon, because that is hard work. I knew that opening up a salon, I was going to be able to put all of my focus and all of my strengths into the area that needed me, which would have been marketing, hiring, customer service, building the team, building the culture, all of that kind of stuff, and I could put all of my attention there. So after the girls opened up, I started researching opening up the hair salon and kind of realizing that I can get my foot into where I want to be, but not necessarily do hair. The second part to this story is I actually tried opening up Oreya Studio 2.5, almost 3 years ago. I had my business plan, I went to get investors, and it just did not work out, and I was crushed, and I honestly buried that idea of me opening up a salon for at least a good year, and it was kind of something that I really felt like was not going to happen anymore, because after doing that the first time, it was so hard, you know, being in a well-paying full-time salary job, and to try and leave that to go into doing this was a big leap. And that's also why my investor at the time was kind of like, now might not be the best time for you. And I was honestly very discouraged. That just kind of shows you that timing is everything, and everything happens for a reason, because maybe 5 to 6 months after I got rejected for that, I got the news that I was very sick, and I had a benign brain tumor. And unfortunately, I had to undergo brain surgery. And if I had done that when I was supposed to do that, it would have not worked out the way that it's working out now. All of the time and effort that goes into this, I was not healthy, and it would have completely fell apart. So taking the leap I tried it the first time and it didn't work, but taking the full leap was after I got sick, had the surgery, and realized, listen, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right now, because I was on a leave of absence from work, I was recovering from surgery, and I had time to really focus my energy and anything that I needed into my business plan and perfect my business plan. And I'm so glad I did that, because it was completely different from what it was the first time. So I just decided to go for it. It was like now or never, like really, because if I went back to work after I got sick, there was no way I was gonna come back from that. So it was just kind of a timing thing, and knowing that that was the right time for me.
So I think it's safe to say that everyone in Toronto is happy that you took that leap, as it shows in the success that your salon has had in such a short amount of time. So what do you think the reason for all this success is?
I think it's a bunch of reasons. It's not just one, but I think first and foremost, what sticks out to me the most about Oreya Studio and what we've been able to create here is the authenticity behind it, to be honest with you, because I took a vision that I had, but staying close to my own, the culture that I'm always around, what I stand for, and just really keeping in mind that I wanted to open something that I really felt was missing in the industry, and staying true to that, and staying true to what it is that I like in a hair salon, what it is that I like when I'm getting pampered, what it is that I like when I'm spending money somewhere. I really feel like just being organic with everything has been shown, and I think that, you know, when people come to the studio because they're coming because either they know me or they follow me on Instagram, they will see that it is, from my Instagram to Oreya's Instagram, it's completely the same. When they come into here, the music that they're listening to is exactly the music that I'm listening to at home and all the time. The gap that I saw in the industry was being able to come somewhere that doesn't necessarily look like your typical salon, so the aesthetics around it is a big deal. We all know that everybody loves to be able to Instagram where they are and take photos where they are, and the experience is a huge thing here. Everything from when you walk in the door and you have the aesthetics, you're listening to great music, you're having some wine, you're chatting with the stylist. I feel like what I wanted to create here was an environment where you feel like you're going to a friend's place to get your hair done. And I think that we've done a really good job at, again, sticking close to what the vision was. And because sometimes, you know, I do feel like you'll have a vision and it's very, very easy to stray away from it because people can influence you and can say, hey, you should be doing it this way or that way, but really sticking to the initial plan has helped so much. Another reason why I think it's been so successful is marketing. Marketing has been such a strength for us from the beginning. I work very closely with my boyfriend who does my graphic designs as well, and he plays a huge part in feeding me my ideas because I have a lot of ideas in my head. I get very confused with myself because I can think of one thing and all of a sudden mid-sentence I'm thinking about something else. He is able to really slow it down and kind of point me in the direction that I need to go, and comes up with brilliant ideas, and then I put the realistic side onto it. So I think having him by my side has been super amazing because somebody who I trust and is great at what he does. Our forces together have been amazing. And then I have an amazing team. Like, the hair itself is what people are coming for, but then when you add great hair, a great team, and the aesthetics and the energy and the experience, you have Oreya Studio. Oreya Studio is the wave. And I feel like I can say that and it's backed up, you know what I mean? So I'm really, really happy in the last 6 months how everything has come to play, and I'm really excited to not tell you guys too much, but all the things that are coming in the next couple months is massive.
So all of the success that Oreya has seen in such a short amount of time, I'm sure it didn't happen overnight. So what would you say were your top challenges when opening Oreya?
I honestly don't, I can talk about this for hours, but to try and bring it down to maybe my top 3 to 5 challenges, one of them, if not the main one, is managing my time. When I started construction, I want to say, I had no idea about construction, about heating, about literally anything to do with owning or renting a commercial property or searching for a commercial property, and what comes with that, and construction and all of that stuff. And I had to figure everything out as I went along. The time that I had to put into being here every day, because I ended up firing the construction team that I started with in the first place, I ended up being a general contractor. Literally like me managing all of these men coming in and out the door, working in all of these different areas. I was here all the time. And then right from that came getting ready to open up the salon and marketing and getting the team together, interviewing them, and then right from there was opening right away, and from opening is managing the salon. So through everything, I have just constantly given all of my time, which that's gonna come, and I understand that, but it is a challenge because I'm tired. And it's like, I'm gonna just be honest with you all, like, I am so tired, but I'm not complaining about it, it's just a real thing. And I have sleepless nights, and that's where the second challenge enters, and I got major anxiety from owning my own business, and that is some real shit right there. Like, I can't even explain to you, I never had to really deal fully with anxiety before this, but from the second I signed my lease agreement to the second I brought in my team and knew everything was riding on me, and then to this day, just, you know, I'm very humble, and I'm smart, And I know that the success of a business and the hype of a business does not last forever. And where my anxiety comes is I'm scared one day that I'm gonna wake up and a new business opens and Oreya is like old news. And that's when it kind of scares you a little bit to not know what the future holds. And I have been so blessed with the success that has happened so fast. But again, when people see the success so fast and they congratulate you, it's amazing, it's such a great feeling. But in the back of your head, instead of taking all of that in as like taking a step back and being like, oh my God, I did this, and enjoying that, you cannot help as a business owner to kind of be like, yeah, we're doing so well now, but you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow or next week or next month. So I developed some serious anxiety and sleepless nights, and that's something that some people aren't comfortable talking about. But if you're gonna really ask me straight up what is something that is really hard, it's dealing with those what ifs. And I think lastly, one of my biggest challenges was kind of transitioning from being a senior manager to an owner. Because when I was a senior manager, I always had somebody to kind of be like, hey, this is what happened to the business, and you go to a district manager or your regional manager and you can kind of put the blame on them or whatever. Like if a client isn't happy with something, it's kind of like, I'm so sorry, I don't make the rules. But owning your business, you do. And there's a lot of, comments here and there that come that it's hard sometimes to please everybody and to try to kind of make everything successful within, your own business and making clients happy, making your staff happy, and knowing that you can't kind of say, hey, I wasn't the one who made these rules, and it is really all on you. So I think those, to kind of bring it down to top 3 challenges, have been my biggest.
So obviously not everything has been a challenge, and you've had many highlights within the 6 months that you have been open. So what would you say have been your top 3 highlights?
Oh my God, 3.
I know, sorry. 3 highlights. I'm sure there's way more, but if you could narrow it down to top 3 highlights from your 6 months of being open at Oreya, what would they be?
Regardless of anything that happens, I think this will always be my top, is the day we opened. Fun fact, I actually was not ready to open until maybe midnight the night before. I had all hands on deck. I had friends coming in and helping me set up the furniture. My boyfriend left the salon, I think, at 3 in the morning, and we opened up at 10 a.m. the next day. Like, it was a struggle to get open on the day that we were supposed to get open. So that moment when I did open the door, and after maybe the first 2 hours when I was really able to kind of let it sink in and kind of look around and realize what had just happened and we're officially open, I looked around and I just started bawling my eyes out. And that I will never forget. And I think that was a huge moment for me, because I didn't know, I knew and I was hoping that this was going to be a successful thing, but I did not know if when we did open up the booking site, if we were going to get a lot of bookings, even the first day. I think we opened up on a Thursday or a Friday, and just seeing the flood of people come in those doors that day one, that's my top for sure, and I'll never forget that. The second highlight, something that just stands out to me, is my team growing. Because in 6 months, I have a stacked team. And I went from hiring 3 people and then the 4th last minute, and then it became 5, and then now, and this was probably at our 4.5, almost 5-month mark, we're a team of 12 and growing. So hiring all of these talented people and like some of my closest friends now into the business has been so rewarding to me, to kind of feel like we are growing, and that as a business owner is a huge deal. And it was one of those moments I had when I took a step back on a very busy day and everybody was in, and I looked at my staff, and I was standing at the front of the store, and I was just like, holy crap, like this is like a real business. We are a team now. It might not sound like that's like an actual pinpoint, but again, just in 6 months to grow already as a team and having to keep hiring people, and we're still hiring. That is a big deal to me. I think the last one, I'm gonna just say it, is when Karuchi Tran came into our salon. That's a big one. There's more in between there. Like I'm gonna have to stick in there, as I know it's top 3, but some other stuff in between that is obviously, you know, we got a lot of partnerships that have happened, and partnerships are such a big deal because it makes you feel like these companies want to work with you just as much as you want to work with them. So that was a big one. And then again, Karuchi Tran was amazing because that was our first celebrity, and I had a vision for Oreya Studio that one day we were going to pick up a celebrity, and I didn't know it was going to come that fast. And I think that that is literally the best way that we ended 2019 and right about to open 2020. I think it's a foreshadow of big things that are about to come and things that I have planned and up my sleeves.
Now that you've been open, you've been running a successful business for 6 months now, what advice would you give to any entrepreneurs or people who are considering becoming an entrepreneur one day?
Great question, Ashley. I think I have 2 different scenarios that I can kind of offer people. I first started off as an entrepreneur when I opened up my Shop Lex Vintage Instagram store, and that was very, very different than opening up a business and like a storefront. If somebody is wanting to open up or do something on their own and work for themselves, just like I was doing for Shop Lex Vintage, my biggest challenge with that I would love to learn from is really realizing that your time and anything that you put into it is the only way you are going to make something of it and make money. If you wake up that day and you decide you don't want to do anything that day, that's totally fine. Nobody's on you. But you need to be so disciplined to keep yourself going, and whatever it is that you want to do needs to be a hobby and a passion of yours that you are going to wake up that day and get it done. Because that Shop Lex Vintage, again, me and my boyfriend were partners in that. And a lot of people may know this or people might not, but he was the person kind of behind Shop Lex Vintage, and I was the face of Shop Lex Vintage, and he knew that whatever I was selling was only something that I would wear. So I wouldn't sell something just because, hey, this looks cool but I won't wear it, then I will not do it. So we kind of incorporated something where it was like, he sources something and he'll ask me, would you wear this or how would you style this? And if it's something that we thought that I would do, then I was able to model it, put my stamp on it, and sell it. And I'll be honest with you, if I didn't have him sourcing everything towards the middle of it at the end, it was so tiring for me to kind of stay focused all the time. So I think that if you're gonna do something, my advice to you is that it has to be a passion of yours. You have to put in the time, you have to be disciplined. And then on the other hand, opening up a storefront business is much more challenging. You are not, especially if you're working with a team and you're hiring a team, you are not the only person involved in this. And I think the best thing I can say to people is have a business plan. Know your business plan, tweak your business plan. Again, like I said in the beginning, the first business plan that I had compared to the one I had after I kind of sat down and revamped it is completely different, and I would have failed if I didn't do it properly. Staying very true to what it is that you want to do is so important, because again, it is so easy to hear people give you suggestions left, right, and center, and you feeling obligated to listen to those advice. I've had people tell me all the time, oh, I think you should do it like this, or I think you should incorporate this, or maybe you should take a step back and do it like this. And if I had listened to any of those, we would not be in the position that we are right now. So staying true to your vision, and I think having a great team is necessary, like investing in the right people. Again, I couldn't do what I'm doing without a fantastic team. The last thing that I would want to say to somebody is timing is everything. You may want something right now, but it may not be the right time for you. And that is super important, because if it isn't the right time for you and you're rushing something, you will fail. And that is just honesty, and that is just something that I am so happy that the timing, the first round did not work out for me, because I would have failed after getting sick. And you'll know when the time is right. You just will. And if it is your time, then I think it's one of those things where if you're gonna do it, you're just gonna have to do it. And you will make the mistakes, and it will be really hard, but if you want it so bad, and you're very passionate about what it is, you won't give up when things get really hard. And I'll be honest with you, I almost gave up several times during the construction period, because I had no idea what I was doing. And money just kept getting taken, and there was no guarantee that this was going to be successful. I had a vision about something, but I didn't know. But I did not want to give up, because I had the faith that I believed everything that I stood for and everything that I was about to kind of bring on was going to be worth it.
So just to close the interview now,
That's it?
Yeah, what? But you gotta let us know, what can we, the people, expect from you and Oreya in the years to come?
Question.
Like, okay, 2 years, what does Oreya look like?
Okay, so I just want to say everything right now. This is like killing me, killing me. But I can say that my vision for Oreya from the get, like I told you guys, I want to make Oreya a brand. I don't want it to just be a hair salon. I want it to start off as a hair salon and kind of get that momentum going, the culture going, have the storefront, have the vision that I wanted to have, and bring Toronto something that I thought that it was missing, and start there. And I eventually want Oreya to go under hair in the studio, and then I want it to, and then we also have our wine. First of all, that's like one, if you think about it, that's also one part of branching out into a brand, is the wine. And then we have X, Y, and Z that is coming that I cannot say. Actually, you know what? One thing that we are just about to announce, which will be announced by the time this video comes out, is that we're also getting into the beauty. And I wanted to bring, again, really focusing on what it is that I want in a place, and what it is, the journey that I'm on right now, and it is skin. And I am on a whole skincare journey. I decided to bring Oreya Studio hair and skin. So we are launching our facials that are coming, and we're also bringing face workouts in here, which is going to be amazing. You will see more about that. So kind of that brand part will also be like in the skin. Then you have the hair, then you have the wine, and then you have the big things that are about to come that I cannot tell you, but I am hoping to branch out into Oreya being a brand. We are bringing out accessories, we're bringing out clothing. So in a couple years, I am hoping that Oreya, the word, becomes a brand, not just a salon. So you'll have Oreya Studio, where you can get everything done, and then you have Oreya, where you can purchase things. So that's one thing. And then another thing to look forward to is my biggest news yet. Really big. In about 1 month from now, just one more month, I've been dying to announce this for about 3 months now. I am going to announce some huge news that I honestly think is going to surprise people, and it's gonna get people so excited. Myself and my team are super excited about it, and this will kind of also answer what else I'm kind of trying to do in the next couple years. I don't even know if I really answered your question about 2 years from now, because that's a long time from now, and I have so much going on that I feel like the best answer I can give you is just a brand. So I want to take one moment here at the end of this interview, and after discussing everything that we have just gone through in the last 6 months, I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart, whether you are a client, a friend that has been supporting me, my family. I want to thank you guys so much for getting me and my team where we are right now. All of this success, yes, I could put it here, but by you guys coming and you guys supporting, that is why we also are so successful. And I just hope that you continue to keep on this wave with us. I have so many things coming, and I hope that everything that I'm about to bring you guys, you love just as much as I love. And yeah, I'm just super, super thankful, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you guys. So thank you so much.